This October marks the 100th anniversary of one of the most iconic games in college football history. On October 18th, 1924, Harold E. Red Grange and the Illinois Fighting Illini stunned the Michigan Wolverines with a 39-14 victory. It was a special day for Illinois as they were dedicating their memorial stadium. The stadium was built at the cost of around $1.7 million in 1920s money, which is equal to around $31 million today. Sounds like a bargain still. Funds were provided by students, alumni, and other benefactors. The stadium opened November 3rd, 1923, when Illinois defeated the Chicago Maroons 7-0 in a homecoming victory. Memorial stadiums were being built across the United States in the 1920s. They were a testament not just to alumni who had fallen during the Great War, but because college football was growing in popularity and existing stadiums could no longer hold the throngs that wished to attend. Illinois Memorial Stadium was packed with 67,000 spectators, buzzing with the excitement of witnessing the Michigan Wolverines and the Illinois Fighting Illini facing off in what was expected to be a fiercely contested match. The Wolverines, led by legendary coach Fielding Yost, hadn't lost a game since 1921. They were a seemingly invincible juggernaut in the world of college football. Illinois, coached by the equally strategic Robert Zupke, was ready to challenge this supremacy. Zupke, known for his motivational prowess and tactical creativity, was the perfect counter to Yost's discipline. Grange was no secret to Michigan. Michigan and Illinois are recognized by the NCAA as being co-champions in 1923, and Grange had led the Fighting Illini all the way. In his first game in Nebraska in 1923, he scored 3 touchdowns, including a 66-yard punt return in a 24-7 win. Illinois went 8-0, outscoring their opponents 136-20. Grange was a consensus first-team All-American. Gary Andrew Poole, in the book The Galloping Ghost, Red Grange, an American football legend, published in 2008, talks about the lead-up to the 1924 Michigan-Illinois game and how the two teams, because they were co-national champions in 1923 but didn't play each other, felt that they really hadn't proved themselves. Poole says, Fielding Yost, the Wolverines' coach, all blood and guts, considered Illinois coach Bob Zupke's squad's gimmicky cowards. He scoffed at the Illini and their bow-tied shrimp of a coach. But in the press, he targeted Grange, trying to throw him off his game and needling him with a barb. All he can do is run. Bob Zupke took this to heart and used it as what we know now as bulletin board material to motivate his team. Poole says, Coach told Red and the rest of the team about Michigan headman Fielding Yost's American speaking tour, in which he defamed the Illinois boys and Red Grange. The players, Grange especially, brooded all summer. Now, Zupke does an excellent job of messing with Yost's head on the day of the game. For some insight of how football was played then and Zupke's tactics, here's more from Poole's book. Is there anything in the rule book that says you have to wear stockings? Zupke tested his men on the rule book ad nauseum. Nothing, was the reply. Take your stockings off. It was common for men to bite each other in the piles. So the men replied, Coach, the teeth marks. They'll scratch us. They'll cut us up. Take your stockings off. He knew his Sockless Illini would psych out the Wolverines because every player from time immemorial had worn thick socks as protection. Zup also knew that anything deviating from normal would get under Yost's conservative hide and throw off the status quo conscious Wolverines. And then later on, the Sockless Illini catch Yost's eye. The Illini were not wearing any damn socks. He, Yost, called over J.C. Masker, the referee who was dressed in the regulation all-white outfit. Yost complained about his sockless opponents. Coach Little, who was a Yost assistant, whined at Zup. Zupke, you're going to grease those boys' legs. The Michigan players felt the Illinois players' legs, but they were not slick. Zupke's plan had worked surprisingly well. Yost was upset, muttering about Zupke's tricks. The Wolverines were obviously distracted. A furious Yost told his team, "Kick off to Grange. Let him know that he hasn't got us worried. Hit him and hit him hard. See that he stays hit." On the first play of the game, Red Grange takes the kickoff and goes 95 yards for a touchdown. Now, in the 1920s, teams could choose whether they wanted to receive the ball or kick again after a score. Michigan chose to kick, thinking the Grange return was a fluke. This time they stopped Grange at the 20, but a few plays later he scores on a 67-yard run using cutbacks to avoid the Michigan tacklers. So what does Michigan do next? They kick the Grange again. This results in a few minutes of back and forth, but Michigan can't do anything against a tough Illinois defense. Illinois gets the ball back, and Grange hits on another long run, this time for 56 yards and a touchdown. Grange's next score came after a Michigan turnover, a muffed punt. Illinois gets it on the Michigan 44, and Grange again goes around the end. The Galloping Ghost, as was Grange's nickname, had scored 4 touchdowns in 12 minutes. This was against a team that hadn't lost a game in 3 years and had only given up 4 touchdowns total in 1922 and 1923. Grange is tired from so much scoring, so Zupke lets him sit in the second quarter. And there are newspaper headlines stating Michigan outplayed Illinois while Grange was out of the game, as if to make excuses for Yost. When Grange comes back in the third, he scores another touchdown on an 11-yard run and throws for yet another with a 20-yard completion. Playing defense, he intercepted 2 Michigan passes. The score ends up 39-14. Grange finishes with 402 yards, 212 rushing, 64 passing, and 126 on kickoff returns. He ran for 5 touchdowns and threw for 6. Red Grange went on to become legend. In 1924, he was the first unanimous All-American selection in college football history. After college, Grange went on a barnstorming tour with the Chicago Bears, helping to legitimize the NFL. At that time, the NFL was viewed as a shady, less desirable counterpart to college football, largely because of the attitudes that athletes shouldn't be paid. ESPN named Grange the best college football player of all time in 2008, and he was named the greatest Big Ten icon by the Big Ten Network. Thus, the echoes from that day in October 1924 continue to resonate through the annals of sports history. A compelling narrative of heroism, memory, and the enduring human spirit all played out on the newly hallowed grounds of Illinois Memorial Stadium. Now, there's so much more to the Red Grange story, especially in his connection with the NFL. The book by Gary Andrew Poole I used as a source is excellent, and I'd recommend it if you want to know more about Grange. I'll leave a link to it in the video description. I'm John Johnston with Hardcore College Football History. If you liked this video, please subscribe. If you liked it a lot, please consider supporting me on Patreon. You can also watch this next video about college football history, and if you have a subject you'd like me to cover, please leave a comment. Thank you.